Hello and welcome to Guild Wars Players News, the podcast where we take a look at Guild Wars game series news and talk about content on our site, Guild Wars Players. I'm Sithrith, and today we have Draculetta.
Hey, everybody.
And Athelros.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of disappointingly normal response. So this week, there's still not a whole lot going on this week. They're still obviously ramping up. We did have EGX Rezzed this weekend in London, and so a lot of people got to go, or this past weekend, I guess, and a lot of people got to go and try out the Heart of Thorns demo, so that's pretty cool. Definitely jealous if you got to do that. We did get a update, though, this week. We got the update that was supposed to come out last week, but got postponed. We didn't know when it was going to come out. Finally hit this week. And there's some pretty cool stuff. The biggest one, of course, is the camera changes with the new camera options. If you go into your options, right on that first options page is the camera sliders. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. You can enable first-person view. You can kind of edit where the camera is vertically and horizontally. It's pretty cool. So definitely recommend playing around with those settings and finding stuff you want. The only thing I wish that they had done is add a thing that lets you save settings per character or per account, because some characters I want to have it centered on the character height. Some characters I don't. But whatever. There is also the streaming client beta added, so if you want to try out that streaming client, you can go ahead and do that. There's more information on the site about how to do that in the article that we posted about it. And also, Athelros is very pleased that World v. World map completion is no longer a requirement for overall map completion. So Athelros got his 100% map completion, didn't you? Because of this patch.
Yay. I got a title, which is nice, and I got some account-bound items that I can't sell, so, the day I do crafting, which at some point will never be, ever, I'll be able to actually use those, but for now they're going to sit in my vault for the rest of eternity, so, whoa.
Good deal. Another thing they added was that previously, in order to kick a party member from your group, you only needed 2 votes, but now it is 3 votes to kick somebody, so that makes more sense. And there's also
long overdue.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't.
It seems really abusable.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's definitely good. It makes total sense. And then on top of that, there's a whole bunch of balance and bug fixing stuff that went on for specific zones. There's some general stuff with certain mobs. And one other thing they added was there's now a flashing effect when hovering over map legend icons to indicate incomplete point of interests, vistas, tasks, etc. So when you're looking at a map and you haven't completed anything or haven't completed everything and there's that one point of interest, you just don't know where it is, you're missing one and you're going nuts trying to find it. If you hover over points of interest on the upper left corner, it will flash where that point of interest is that you're missing. So that is very helpful.
Yeah, I would have liked that when I was doing my book completion, because there's a lot of the there's a few points of interest in certain areas where it's so the texture of the land it's on is really close to the color of the actual icon, so it's really hard to see it.
Definitely. So since I haven't done world completion yet, I'm very glad that all these changes happened before I started. So that's good for me. There's also, just tons of different class balance updates. And then there was also a couple additional patches throughout the week because, unfortunately, quite a few bugs got introduced with this patch. One of the most glaring ones being that guild chat was totally broken for most of the week. So either you try to use guild chat and it would tell you weren't in a guild even though you obviously were, or you'd type in guild chat and it just wouldn't show up, or you'd type in guild chat and then if you switch tabs it would just disappear. But luckily yesterday they did fix that, so that is back and it's good and guild chatted up now. But the most exciting thing to me, well, I thought I was going to be really excited, was that they added 3 new faces. Now, we knew this from the leaked patch notes from last week. They added 3 new faces per gender, per race. Last week, we were kind of is it going to be 3 faces, just 3 faces per per race? And how's it going to be split up gender-wise? But it is 3 faces per gender, per race.
So 6, then, per
Yeah, so
race.
6 faces, basically.
I could have said that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you think about it, it's like when you make a character, you can only pick one gender, so you only get access to the 3 faces.
I suppose.
So, I guess it makes sense. Some of them are like very drastically different. Like the char faces include war paint, which is pretty cool, but unfortunately, it is red and white war paint, and you cannot change the color of it. So if you want to make like a red themed char character, that's pretty cool. But if you don't, kind of out of luck.
Gee, who would make a red-themed char?
Nobody
Can't
we
imagine.
know. Certainly
It's the main
nobody on this
colour who likes
podcast.
it.
No, nobody that actually has one now? No.
Really, Drac?
Maybe.
I didn't even know you had a char.
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, that's news to me.
And they're very red, but now see, I'm going to have to do the whole red-themed face paint now.
Well, there you go. And
so.
I have to admit, it does look pretty awesome. It looks pretty cool. It's on the male and female versions, and there's slightly different. There's, obviously 3 variations on the war paint. That's pretty cool. I was not a fan of the Sylvari faces. The male ones particularly look like they are like making pouty kissy faces all the time. No matter how far you minimize the lip sliders on them, it just looks like they have their lips sticking out, and it looks stupid.
The Asura ones look pretty interesting to me, actually. At least the male ones kind of have that creepy, I'm probably going to murder you in your sleep look, and that's kind of relevant to my interests, so...
So you might make an Asura for that.
I might be able to make one that's not but ugly, so, yeah.
Yeah, you can just make an evil one.
Yeah. I mean,
There you
all
go.
Asura are evil, so...
Well,
so
right, yeah,
usually
but...
Visually.
More visually evil, yes. I do have to... one thing, there are some... Like, the frustrating thing with the male Sylvari faces are some of them, like, I actually do like, especially if you look at them in profile, it doesn't look like they have pouty lips. I think it's just that the way the shading is on the face and the way the lines are, like the bark and whatever leaf stuff that's on their face, it just accents lips so much it looks like they're pouting. But, I don't know. I still might use one of those new faces for my Revenant. I'm not sure yet, though. Norns and humans are kind of disappointing because they look kind of just like the same faces 3 times, but with for the males especially, it's 3 faces with slightly darker eyebrows or slightly darker 5 o'clock shadow. So it's kind of weird. But one of the human faces has bright red lipstick, which is kind of cool. But other than that, yeah. That's not as exciting as I was hoping the new faces would be, but more options is always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, we did also get a new blog post on the Guild Wars 2 site. This one is about the new World v World Borderlands map. It's going to be replacing the current map that we have on all the 3 Borderlands World v World areas. The current one they're referring to as the Alpine Borderlands map, and this one will be the Desert Borderlands map. And it actually sounds really interesting. So there's going to be some things that are just similar. So there's going to be 3 keeps and 4 towers and 6 supply camps. And there's going to be Doliacs going back and forth running supplies and stuff. And the keeps and stuff are all going to be in mostly the same position on the map. However, they've introduced more verticality, as they called it in the blog post. So there's going to be more cliffs, there's going to be windier paths, there's going to be more rocky terrain and stuff, all sorts of stuff going on. But the thing that sounds really interesting to me is each of the keeps and towers and supply camps and everything have very distinct visual and just themes. For example, each of the keeps has a elemental I was about to say attunement, but elemental theme, basically. So, for example, the air keep is based on the ancient city of Petra, which is in Jordan, and if you've seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, you know what that is. And the fire keep is this big underground keep that's got lava flowing all around it and stuff, and each of the keeps have different kinds of guards and sentries posted. So, for example, the fire one has fire elementals guarding it and stuff. So it sounds pretty cool. And there's also going to be shrines around these keeps that you can go to and get buffs. And even the towers and supply camps have different themes. So, for example, they said things like a magic academy or a necromantic spire, which is pretty cool sounding. And And yeah, generally they've made the terrain a lot more complex and kind of difficult to just run around openly in. The center of the map is going to be this big oasis, and this is going to have like streams and winding like bamboo bridges and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And they said that this center area is going to be especially good for roamers, ambushers, and gankers. And then the outside of the map edges are going to be all desert. They've also added some buffs to the Doliacs that run supply back and forth, but I think the really cool part is that they made the Doliacs look like oryx, which are a type of like antelope thing in Africa, and they look really cool. So I might actually, once Heart of Thorns comes out, I might actually go and check out World v. World, because, I mean, I think the current map is kind of boring looking. It's just like grass on one half, snow on the other half, and it's just like big random looking generic medieval keeps. But this sounds really cool, so I might have to actually go check it out. Do you guys think you'll go check it out, or are you just done with World v. World at this point, Atharos? Anybody?
I've never done World versus World, so I don't know. I might check it out because, like you said, this does sound pretty interesting, the way they're doing the different like styles, and they're, you know, like trying to make them model them after something. So I will probably check it out at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Are they adding jumping puzzles to it?
They have not said.
Well, we'll need to find
I
out.
wouldn't be surprised, though, if jumping does play a role based on how complex this terrain is supposedly going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they add in the glider technology to this area.
Those. But yeah, aside from, like, the only reason I did the World v. World in this current one is for the world completion and for the jumping puzzles, so if either of those become a factor, we know the completion.
Oh yeah,
is
I forgot about those. I forgot about the jumping puzzles there. They might put in jumping puzzles in this one then, since there already are jumping puzzles here.
Yeah, so that could motivate me to do them, but aside from that, probably not.
Yeah, I'd definitely be up for some more jumping puzzles. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Well, we also got some news today about the new PvP ladder test coming out this season. Atharos, did you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. Can't say I know too much about PvP, as of not really playing it much myself, but they did announce that the second season of the ladder test is starting, with some prizes involved. I don't get people's obsessions with the mini pets, but there is the chance for the people who do well in these tournaments to get a mini llama pet with various fanciful stuff, monocles and whatnot, and hats.
Monocles and whatnot.
Because why wouldn't a llama need a monocle?
Of course.
Exactly.
Read with something. Read this morning paper. Yes.
The llama news.
Yeah, I don't really get it, but yeah, people like that stuff, then go for it.
Yep. And the cool thing about this is they're using this ladder to further test and tweak their ranking system. So, and this ladder session is going to last longer than the previous one, so that they can see how it works in longer amounts of time as well. Now, the last ladder season in December and January, basically, it was it kind of benefited people who played a ton of matches, not necessarily people who won the most matches, although obviously that was also good. But if you played just a huge amount of matches, even if you lost a whole lot, you could still get rewards and like rank up, basically. But now they've tweaked it so that obviously the goal is to win more matches than you lose. And just playing a ton of matches, even if you lose, isn't necessarily going to rank you up high, which makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointing for me, because I play a ton of matches, but I lose a lot variety. But, oh well. I guess no mini llama for me. But we'll see. Who knows?
You may get the llama.
I may get the llama. We'll see. I'll give it my best try. So, Drac, what is on sale this week?
There are some good things in the gem store this week, and I am actually going to spend some gems. Well, actually, I have to buy some gems, and then I'm going to spend some gems this week.
Ooh, what are you going to get?
We'll let you guess when I get done telling you what's in the store. I'm sure
I already
you
have
already
some guesses.
know. I'm sure you do. In the gem store this week is the Shadow Die Kit. It looks like from the picture, it's very dark. A lot of greens, a lot of blacks. Have you looked at this at all yet? Since you're
I
the
actually
cosmetic
bought.
person.
I've bought a 5-pack of the Shadow Die kit. I got 2 of the Shadow Dies. There's actually, I think, there's 10 of them. So there's all sorts of ones. I got lucky and I got Shadow Purple, which is the one that I wanted. And so it's like near black with like a purpley tinge to it. I also got Shadow Yellow, which is black with a yellower tint to it. And I sold that for, I think, 9 gold.
Oh, wow.
The most coveted one, Shadow Abyss, which is the absolute blackest black die the game has. So every die has 3 color channels, red, green, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically that's how they set up the dies. So for example, Abyss, it was like, it's, those HTML color hashtag, numbers or whatever that they use for websites and stuff. That's how they figure out the die colors. So Abyss was like 1,000 something for each of the 3 numbers. So it was very, very black, but it was a little bit not totally black. Shadow Abyss die, though, is full zeros for red, green, and blue. So it is the absolute blackest black you could possibly get. So everybody's going crazy for it. I think at this point it's like 240 gold in the gem store.
Of course it is.
So, if you want Shadow Abyss, either get really lucky opening the Shadow Die kits from the store and get one, or save up 240 some gold and get it in the trading post. It's insane. Honestly, if I had got it, I would have been so torn whether to sell it or keep it, because that's a lot of gold.
That is a ton of gold.
So, yeah, they're pretty good though, and it seems that since there's 10 of these dies, it seems like there's a much better chance of actually getting one of these exclusive dies when you open the die kits.
You would think so, with being only 10, but we all know how the RNG is, though. So,
well, especially for you.
Yeah, exactly. For me, at least. Also, in the gem store, the Remnants of the Lich is back for a limited time.
And I'm guessing this is what you are going to get.
It is. I have been waiting forever to get this for my Necro. So as soon as I can, I'm going to hurry up and buy some gems and buy this. And if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty odd... The only thing I don't like about it is I don't like the hood.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, though, you can actually turn the hood off.
Right, yes, yeah. You
so
can.
It's not as big of a deal.
The thing I like best about it, though, is your feet turn into little, like, cloven hooves.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Although, my only problem with the hooves, though, is that on the male characters, it looks like the hooves actually, it looks like they actually have hooves. Whereas for the female characters, it looks like they're just wearing hoof boots. Like hoof...
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I guess I didn't even think about that until you just said that. I looked, but...
Mm-hmm.
So I will be buying that. Also in the store is the Crystal Nomad outfit. And did you buy one of these?
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, no. The only character I'd probably use it on was my Necro, but his outfit is so cool as is.
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of
if you have like a character from Ilona or something, that'd be pretty cool, I think.
I could see that.
Or like a Zephyrite character, I think. But, yeah.
And then finally in the store, the mini golden pig.
Which is exactly what it sounds like.
It's a mini golden pig. But does that mean the bacon would be gold too?
Could you eat it? Gold is technically edible in small amounts.
It is. See, that's
so.
I mean, there was the story of the goose that laid the golden egg. So this is the mini pig that gives you golden bacon.
Golden bacon.
Bacon. That's it for the gem store.
All right. So this week, again, we don't have a whole lot to go over. There weren't a whole lot of posts this week. Just kind of one of those weeks, I guess. Char did post up a poem. Drac offered to read it, but it is a pretty long poem. I'm not going to make him do it. But maybe Drac read the first 2 stanzas to give people a taste of it?
Sure. It is entitled Floods and Flowers. When I was a young lady in the last stronghold of humanity, I was told that the city walls would always protect us, as they had for all of human memory. Yet I found that safety was no way to live when one night I saw a great beast in a circus tent. Though he was well fed and loved, I heard him cry out for more than the containment. From his youth forward, he would entertain honored guests from all corners of Tyria, rewarded with fish and salted meats. He grew very fat, and his eyes became his eyes, listless as the low tide on a calm night. My family was no different, save my youngest sister. Lilica and I saw the slow death that the walls would bring. Our father and mother, like the bear, were dying, and with every moon my heart sunk. I prayed to the gods, as the orphan I was, as we all were. My wishes brought a storm.
Very nice.
And you can read the rest of it and find out what happens. Yeah, it's a really good. I don't really think of it as a poem so much as a story, but it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's definitely a free verse rather than sticking to a specific rhyme scheme. But yeah, it's definitely pretty good.
So definitely go check that out and read the rest and find out what happens.
Yeah. So on top of that, we had a new video spotlight this week, and this one is called Lion's Arch Before Scarlet. And I know, Thalros, you were watching this video. What did you think?
Well, I was watching some of it. It is a video by Wooden Potatoes, and it's quite a long one. So if you're planning to watch the whole thing, you might want to get a drink.
Okay.
It's pretty close to an hour's worth.
Maybe
so,
some popcorn
yeah.
too, and
Well, it's a Wooden Potatoes
Setback.
video. He has a tendency to be verbose, but go on.
But yes, this is a video he made quite a while ago, obviously, before the Lion's Arch was destroyed the next time.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. If you're not aware of this, then I don't worry.
If you don't know Lion's Arch is destroyed yet, why are you listening to this podcast?
Okay, yeah. But yes, this is a video kind of showing quite a lot of Lion's Arch before it goes under, and it's quite interesting to see the sort of architecture and design and stuff they use, given that this isn't really something that happens often in MMOs where the place gets permanently changed. So it's definitely nice that at least we have some way of kind of seeing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad he had the forethought to record all of this, because up until this point, I hadn't seen any videos outside of just Vista, kind of the Vista cutscenes of old Lion's Arch. So
Yeah, that's all I had ever seen too.
So this was pretty cool. I'm disappointed that I missed it because it looked really cool, but hopefully one day we will see a rebuilt Lion's Arch and it will be just as cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Drek, this week you had another Sounds of Tyria.
Yes, I am finishing. Well, not finishing up, but this is the last spotlight of the soundtrack to Guild Wars Factions. I'm going to move on to the third expansion next week, which will be, of course, Nightfall. This time I chose the Assassin's theme. And I did really enjoy playing my Assassin, and listening back to the song today really made me want to log in to Guild Wars and play her again, because it's been a long time since I played my Assassin. But it's kind of it's kind of got like a mysterious type feel to it, which would make sense. Being the Assassin theme, and then once again, like all the other faction songs, it kind of has that Oriental type feel with it as well. So Jeremy Sewell does such a good job at doing that. He can take whatever he's trying to do and fit different things into it, but still make it sound like the whole theme of the game. I don't know how he does it, but he is just an amazing composer, and this is another one of the great examples from the Faction soundtrack. And as I said, next week we will be taking a look at Nightfall.
Nice. All right, so this week's community outfit is from Flossin, and this is a picture of his Elementalist Mystic Catcher, who is decked out in lovely white and green and gold. Flossin says, I just got the Onset die from a loot box, and I had to try it out. And Onset's a really cool die because it's part of the metallic die family, so it has kind of deeper shadows and brighter highlights, and I really like using the metallic dyes even for non-metallic outfit parts, because it it's just got a much richer texture to it. A lot of the other dyes kind of wash things out and make it just look very bland, but these metallic dyes look much better. So go check out that picture. He uses Pastel Lemon Onset, which is the green color, and white. And he didn't say what staff he's using in this picture, but I would really like to know because it's a very unusual staff. And I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. So yeah, please let us know, Flossin, what that is, because it's got these like blue glowy looking bits on it. I don't know, it's pretty cool looking. So go check that out. And if you would like your outfit posted up on our site, send it to us at contact@guildwarsplayers.com with the subject line Weekly Outfit. Again, we don't have a lore book this week because, again, I'm still adjusting the time. But if there's a specific lore book topic, like a specific part of Tyrian history that you'd be really interested in hearing about, please feel free to email us at podcast@guildwarsplayers.com or tweet at us at GWPlayers, or even post, your topic or whatever on our Facebook page. We're at facebook.com/guildwarsplayers, predictably. So, Tharos, what did you do this weekend? Or week,
well,
whatever.
Yeah, if it was this weekend, there wouldn't be much to talk about. Well, this week I did some dungeon runs with you and Drac. We did Honor of the Waves, which is interesting because Kodan Kodan's a cool.
Bears.
Quite a rough dungeon, actually, that was.
That was quite difficult.
Second to last boss fight, I think, in particular, we struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Required a lot of rolling around.
Yeah, just constant movement on that one.
Which still was not as bad as that Living Story dragon fight, so...
Everything is measured compared to the Living Story dragon fight.
That is the bar to which everything reaches. But yeah, that was a decent challenge, actually. After that, we did Crucible of Eternity, which was fairly not too bad, actually, for the most part, although there was the one section that was kind of confusing, where you had to go through this poisonous area of some kind and sort of rolling into the safe parts, which we didn't really figure out until after the guy had moved past.
Until after we had all died multiple times. And
Yeah. Partway through, through that, No?
I don't know what I was going to say. Go on.
Okay.
Sorry.
At some point, during that, one of our teammates had to leave, so we ended up having to four-man the last boss. I think it was the last two bosses. Technically, it was like 2 or 3 in a row, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was...
something.
Yeah, because it was like the guy and then the guy's monster pet thing.
Right. So we had to four-man that. Yeah.
But yeah.
But we surprisingly did okay, and we survived it four-manning it, which I was surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. I also did a bit of PvP. I did prep beforehand, checking the
I was very surprised.
Build. Well, having done PvP in MOBAs, it wasn't actually that different.
I suppose.
Individual rounds like that you do felt a lot shorter. Maybe it's because I was used to like 30-minute long games. That's the thing. There's
no 30-minute long games. I think each match it maxes out at 15 minutes, I believe. So yeah, you're not going to find the 30-minute matches.
Yeah, it isn't too bad. It was okay. I'd have to practice more before I get a feel for it, I think. But yeah, well, see how that goes.
Yeah, you didn't do too bad.
Yeah. Also, while we were doing
3 matches, I think.
Yeah, it was. I think we won 1 and lost 2. So.
Yeah, but there weren't any jerks or anything.
No, people seemed just quiet for the most part.
It's better than being jerks.
Mm-hmm. Also, while we were doing the dungeon runs, I'm not going to say I discovered because someone obviously knew about this already. The Laurel vendors in the various towns, they obviously sell stuff for Laurels. I think it's called the Heavy Crafting Bag. I decided to try and just see if the stuff you get from it is worth like the conversion rate to gold. And it turns out that you get about roughly a gold, maybe a bit more per bag, which costs 1 Laurel each. So by buying a ton of those that I had, I ended up making about 40 gold. Which I'm quite happy with.
Yeah, that's pretty good. After you told us about that, I went and bought a whole bunch of them as well and made quite a bit of money.
Yep. I also bought Godolph, the mini wolf dog pet thingy.
And do you still regret it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of laurels.
It's a lot of gold. So sad.
Yeah.
The regrets. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Drac, what did you get up to this week?
Well, I, of course, did the 2 dungeons that Athelros talked about, and in the Crucible of Eternity, I had an epic fail.
You did.
A very epic fail.
Mm-hmm.
Zojja, of course, we all know my love for Felicia Day, so anytime Zojja's in a dungeon, I'm anywhere where Zojja's at, just because reasons. And Zojja died, and Logan, who cares about Logan, he is also in that dungeon as well. Well, I knew I only needed 1 more res to get the No One Left Behind achievement, which is basically if you res 1,000 players or NPCs, you get that. So I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to res Zojja. I'll get my achievement by resing Zojja. Logan and Zojja were sorta in the same area when they died. I thought I had clicked on Zojja to res.
Nope.
I clicked on Logan.
Fail.
So I resed Logan to get my achievement, and poor Zojja was still lying there dead. And Athelros said, "Why did you just res Logan?" And I'm like, "I didn't." Ah, crap.
Yep.
That memory will always be there.
Yes, it will. Poor Zojja. I just thought that would be perfect to get that achievement with Zojja, but no.
But no.
No. Besides that, I had another fail. We attempted to run the Ascalonian Catacombs. The Explorer Path 1 was doing that with one of our guildmates and some of his friends. They asked me if I wanted to tag along, and that was the first time they had done the Explorer Path. And we tried it, and we failed miserably.
Uh-oh.
We did pretty good through the first boss, and then there's like a mini-boss. And we didn't do too bad there, but then we got to a part, if you've ever done that Explorer Path, you probably know there's an NPC in there with your name Hodgkins, and you have to protect him while he's searching through these things for something, and the gravelings start burrowing out of things, and they all just run to attack him. And we tried, I don't know how many times to save that poor dude, and he kept dying, so finally we're like, yeah, we can't get this. So I think we figured out our problem was we didn't have enough AoE DPS.
Oh, yeah.
I said if I would have brought my Elementalist on, we probably could have done it because we could have had more AoE.
Makes sense.
But and that was the first time I had ever tried to explore all the dungeons I've ever done. Just the personal story, which tend to be a little easier.
Yeah.
Story mode or explorer mode is pretty unforgiving. You basically really have to know how to do the things. And I'm sure if we were with somebody that had actually done it before, could have explained maybe some way to do it. But at some point, we're going to try it again. And then after that, a few people, I was just ready to log out, and a few people in the guild wanted to run Ascalonian Catacombs. So we got a full guild run of that, which was cool.
Yeah.
That was the, I think, first time we've ever had a full guild-only run.
Yeah, it was me, you, Sarah, Fredulus, and who's the 5th person?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember who the 5th was. I don't remember.
I want to say Terry Edwin?
Maybe?
No.
I can't remember. But yeah, that was kind of cool that because like I said, we've ran some dungeons before with some guild mates, but we've never had enough to do a full run, so we've always had to put up a LFG and just grab one more person. So that was pretty fun, and we breezed through it pretty easy.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah, of course, you and I have ran that I don't know how many times, so that one we pretty much know how to do, so.
Oh, Brax Wolf was with us.
That's who it was. It was
Oops,
Brax.
sorry, Brax.
Sorry, we didn't mean to forget you, Brax. Really, we didn't. And I think that is about all I did.
Cool beans.
Still sad about my Zojja fail, though.
Yeah, well, it happens.
So what'd you do besides those dungeons that we ran?
Yeah, mostly just those dungeons. Helped show Thalros the PvP ropes a bit. Did a lot of PvP on my own this week. I decided to go back to unranked for a bit because I've been losing a lot lately, so trying to kind of get my footing again. I got a total makeover kit to see the new faces, and then I ended up using it on my Necromancer. I've been having. I love his coloring. Like he's like this dark purple with like kind of pink accent color and pink glow. But it was really difficult to find dyes that worked well and didn't just make everything bright pink. So I ended up kind of changing him to a more darker, well, not darker, but like more of a bluish purple. His like little accents and his glow and stuff. So it's a lot easier to find dyes that dye well. And part of this is also because from the dye kits I got Enameled Rain. I think I got it from a dye kit, or maybe I just bought it. I don't remember. But I got Enameled Rain, which is this dark purple, which is really cool because it shows up mostly kind of like really, really dark purple, but then on the Sylvari cultural armors and like the Nightmare Court armor and stuff, the glowy bits are kind of pinky purple. So it works really well for my Necromancer. So I did that. Leveled my Ranger from like 30 to 40 by using Tomes of Knowledge. And I did a whole lot of Vinewrath runs in the Silver Wastes on my Necro to get gold and Carapace armor stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much my week. And we don't have any Guild Wars 2 Academy this week because nobody has sent us in any questions. If you have a question about the game, if you're a new player, or if there's just something you want more information about or need advice on, just send it in. Email us at podcast@guildwarsplayers.com, or you can tweet at us at GWPlayers. Just, send us your questions. We'd love to help you out. And this week we don't have any Patreon mentions, but we sure would love your support. To help support Guild Wars Players and the Players Alliance Network on Patreon, go to our donation page on our guildwarsplayers.com website, and you'll find rewards, including a mention, or you can even be a guest on the show. And this week we got a featured comment from a Rebel Ironic, who people from Lotro Players and Lotro Players Adventures will remember as Buthor, Buthor. And he commented on how to get fat stacks in the crafting corner. And Drac or Thalros, either one of you want to read this comment?
Yep, I can read it. He says, I looked at GW2Spidey.com the last time you listed it, and again now, and I saw the same issue both times. That issue is that the sell price is whatever someone is offering to sell the item for. For example, the Vital Green Wood Harpoon Gun says I can craft it for 7 silver and sell it for 11 gold. Just because someone is offering to sell it for 11 gold doesn't mean anyone will actually pay 11 gold. However, the highest buy offer is for 6 silver. This same pattern does apply to everything I looked at, and I skipped the obvious crazy ones like this. Sellers were offering to sell at the listed profit, but the highest buyer was way below the crafting cost. So how do you actually make money with this?
So I think this is a pretty valid concern, not being someone who crafts with any regularity myself, and I've generally just accepted that crafting is a time sink and money sink. I haven't really looked into this, but that's definitely a good point. And if anybody has any kind of advice about this or would like to answer a Rebel Ironic, just leave a comment on this episode once it goes live or something. You would go back to the article he posted on and reply to his comment. Because, yeah, we would definitely like to know how you can make money with crafting using GW2 Spidey based on that information.
And I have to agree with him, because I have looked at that too, and I did see the same thing that he was seeing.
Interesting.
So I couldn't, understand. And then I looked, I was looking at the trading post, and I was seeing, like he said, everything, the only buy offer is way under what it actually costs you to craft it. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me, so I'm kind of glad he posted this, because I was going to post the same thing, but I never got around to posting it. So
right.
I, too, would like to know if anybody has any ideas how you could actually be profitable in this way.
Yeah, so comment to us if you do. So that's about it for our show. You can contact us by emailing us again. I think this is the third time I've said it this show, podcast@guildwarsplayers.com. And you can follow us all on Twitter. The Players Alliance Network is @PlayersAlly. Guild Wars Players is @GWPlayers. I'm @Sithrith. Draculetta is @Draculetta_72. Athelros is @Athelros. And of course, you can also whisper us or send us mail in game. I'm at Sithrith.6741. Draculetta is Draculetta.7410. And Athelros is Athelros.3164. The Players Alliance Network has a whole bunch of live shows besides this one. Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is DDO Players News. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern is this show. And Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is Lotro Players News. You can get to all these live shows by going to guildwarsplayers.com/live. There's a link there that will take you to the live chat room. Thank you all very much for listening. And this is Sithrith reminding you to look before you leap.